Hello everyone and welcome to the latest episode of Book Time with Elvis with me, Mark. And thankfully it's a much cooler day today, so I'm very happy for that. If you'd seen my video yesterday, I was a hot mess, so to speak. Okay, I hope you're all well. I'm just coming to you today with a Sunday summary. Pretty much just to let you know what I've been doing in the world of reading this week. I would like to tell you about things I was doing in the real world as well, but you know, it's summer holidays, but I haven't really done very much, apart from, of course, hanging out with my bestie Elvis, and the rest of the time just reading. So yeah, I mean, I enjoy it, but it might not be the most exciting thing for some people, though I do plan hopefully to take a short trip at the end of August with school, so that should be nice. Right, so I've got a few read-alongs and buddy reads and things going along this month. I've mentioned them already, but just to give you an update, I'm taking part in Book Trek 2021, the 5-month mission. I'm not sure how long I'll stay the course because I'm not really a Trekkie, so this is all quite new to me. I only ever watched the original television series, and I am reading a book from that original television series, or at least the characters from that series. And the one I'm reading is this one here, if you can see that. Sorry about the reflections and everything, you can see me again through that. So it's Strangers from the Sky. And I'm not very far along because I've been distracted by other things as well. And plus I've got a whole month really to read it. But I'm about 3 chapters in and I'm really enjoying it. It's not my normal reading, but it's good fun and it's quite an interesting premise. It's kind of a book within a book. So you start off with this story about people seeing something falling to Earth, and then it cuts to Bones, is it? Dr. McCoy, who's reading the book that you're actually reading as well. And then he tries to, you know, get Admiral Kirk at this point to read it as well, because apparently there's some, discrepancy between the official history of when humans had first contact with aliens and the reality. So this book is saying it occurred, I think it's like 20 years prior to the official date. And it's really interesting. I quite like it. So I'm looking forward to getting stuck into that when I've cleared a little bit more of my my backlog. So yeah, that's being hosted, by the way, by Vin at Revenant Reads, and he has co-hosts of Gina, Michael K Vaughan, Steve Donoghue and Mark Richardson as well. So they're all hosting that. I'm in the Voxer chat and they're all going gung-ho and reading a load of these things, and they seem to be really enjoying them. And I think if I hadn't had the other stuff to read, then I probably would definitely check out more of them as well. So next month I'll be moving on to the next generation, I think. So that'll be interesting. I mean, if I can do one of these a month, that would be nice. So yeah. The next thing I'm doing is a buddy read with Matthew over at Bottle Imp Books. And we're reading a Czech book, obviously in translation, by Joachim Topol. And it's this one here. It's called, if you can see, City Sister Silver. And if you watched my video last week, you can see I had a terrible time trying to pronounce it. Which is a shame because the original Czech title is actually much simpler. It is just called Sestra or Sister. So they miss out the city and the silver part. And well, I don't know where to begin with this book. I'm enjoying it, but my goodness, it's really strange. It's set in it starts off in the last days of the communist regime in Czechoslovakia, and then moves into the early crazy days of capitalism. And I've never had a book, I think, where I've highlighted so much so early on. I don't know if you can see, like I've got highlights, you know, all the way through, because it's weird. It's like Matthew said it was been likened to Ulysses by James Joyce, and he said apparently it's taken some people up to 2 years to read it. I mean, it's only 500 pages, but I can kind of see why, because there's an awful lot in it. It's got some really beautiful writing, some really strange writing. There's a lot of dream sequences, a lot of, you know, it's just reams and reams and streams of just consciousness and what's going on inside the writer's head. And then there are lucid moments of, you know, actual flowing prose where you get an idea what's going on, and then other times there's not. You know, it's very interesting because obviously I live here in the Czech Republic, so I think I'm lucky that I know a bit about the background. I think if I didn't, it would be probably a bit harder to grasp, you know, because he starts off, I think they go to watch the hordes of East Germans queuing outside the West German embassy in Prague, and all the abandoned Trabants and things like that, as they're all trying to get away to the West in those last days of the Iron Curtain in Europe. And yeah, he's got a few friends. That the main character is called Potok, which I mentioned before means stream in Czech, so I don't know if that's particularly significant. He's absolutely obsessed with time. I can't tell you how many times I've seen the concept of time come up. Yeah, I'll read you a little bit, and you can just kind of see what I'm up against maybe here. Reaching up to the shelf for the firewater, I touched a hand groping for it from the other side. A bracelet, fingers chewed like mine, but his hand's dusky, smells of smoke. It's calloused and scraped. Mine doesn't have calluses, not anymore. We clutch the bottle, each from one side, but it doesn't want war. This demon wants us both. The bottle splits in two, each of us tugging the cold glass onto our side of the darkness, and on the spot where my hand and the Chippewas touched. A new bottle stands now. There will always be a new one, as long as we die. So yeah. It's very, very, very interesting. I think it will probably take a while to read. We're aiming to read 20 pages a day. I've fallen a little bit short of that, partly due to my other reading commitments as well. But I think I'll pick up the pace. And yeah, it's quite pornographic as well. I mean, I was surprised, though I shouldn't have been maybe by it. There's a lot of, sexual stuff in there as well, so it might not be for everybody, or that might be the thing that makes you think, oh yeah, what's the name of that book again? But yeah, who knows. But anyway, I'm enjoying it, and we'll see how that goes, and I look forward to talking more to Matthew about it as well. So the other thing I'm doing is I'm kind of hosting a Herodotus the histories read-along, though it seems we're kind of all pretty much going at our own pace, I think, and everyone's also busy with other things. So but it's really good. So we set the target, just so you can see it there, we set the target of finishing the first book in a week, and we started last Sunday. So today we should have finished book 1, and I've just started book 2. It's good fun. At first I wasn't sure about Tom Holland's translation. It seemed maybe a little bit too conversational maybe for me at first, but now I'm really enjoying it, and I really like the way he's done it, and it is very, very readable. I think the Selenchord is still really, really good as well. I haven't read any of the other translations, and I read that, of course, it must be almost 20 years ago, so it's been a while. So it's kind of a reread, but it's also like reading it for the first time as well. Certainly in parts, because I didn't remember everything. There's some great characters in it. There's some horrific things as well that take place in it. I think in book 1 there are at least 3 incidences of human cannibalism. There's, but his travels and the way he writes about things and talks about the different cultures in his world, very, very interesting. And also I was talking with some people on the Voxer group last night about how it's amazing how he's really in the fabric of our society, even though we might not be aware of it. So a lot of the stories I'm pretty sure you would have heard before in one form or another. They've been taken and adapted and used in many kind of Hollywood films. I mean, there are certainly, you look at George R.R. Martin's, what's it called, Game of Thrones books. There are he's definitely read this. He's definitely in some form used this as some inspiration. I mean, there are tribes in here that are similar to the Dothraki and that kind of thing. But it is excellent. I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into that. So I've got to read 2 books now, books 2 and 3, before next Sunday, which is, I think, it isn't too bad. I mean, it's just kind of over 100 and something pages in a week, which shouldn't be too bad. So there we go. That's my little update for this Sunday summary. And I will certainly be back later in the week with some more videos on other things, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend and look forward to seeing you all again very soon. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.